Good morning, everyone. You've had an enlivening morning of talks from the RocketMill team, and then someone gets introduced to you as an SEO consultant and stands in front of you with a slide like that. Let's be honest, show of hands, how many people are already switched off? Yeah, thought so, a few fibbers out there. Let's be honest, at this time of year, some Tom, Dick or Harry, or one of the three, will come along with a presentation or an article with a title like that, talking about, actually I'll tell you honestly, the #1 organic result on Google for this at the moment contains the word blogosphere. It talks about link building. It's just about spamming the web. And it's just rubbish. It's as common November, December time as going into a department store to buy a relative a festive cardigan, hearing the tannoy crackle into life and being subjected to shaking Stevens. I want to do something different. You see, for 20 years, marketers have said the word digital, but they've been talking about algorithms. Ones and zeros, true or false, binary calculations, Boolean operations. And it seems we've forgotten that these algorithms are supposed to connect people to information. We seem to have forgotten that algorithms are supposed to improve the lives of our audiences. I think as marketers, we've proven to ourselves that before machine learning came machine thinking, because we've forgotten 60 years of industry best practice. We've become so focused on algorithms, we've forgotten about how to connect with living, breathing human beings. And so I'd like to deliver a little something different to you, and rather than talking tactics, I want to tell you how to build sustainable organic visibility in 2019 and well beyond by setting up the foundations for sustainable SEO success. It's a case of practicing what we preach. This is what RocketMill does with its clients. And furthermore, it's what Google cites as its plans for the next 20 years of search. So, 3 steps to increase your organic traffic. They are, #1, target people throughout the journeys in their lives where search is a touch point. #2, optimize for search by intent and not just individual keyword rankings. And thirdly, deliver an excellent experience. That means a great user experience, so the people who connect with your website and connect with your brand have a great experience thereof it. And furthermore, it's me, I'm going to talk about technical excellence and how you can make sure that crawlers and search engines have a great experience when they land on your site. So let's begin with how to target people throughout their search journeys. The key takeaway from this point is that you need to empathize with your audience and deliver the information they need in the way they need it, when they need it. Google is actually helping us here because they are adding some new features, activity cards. You can see the mobile version hereof, which are going to help users to trace their steps around the web and retrace them by highlighting content they've seen previously which relates to a new search. Furthermore, Google has improved its collections experience, which now includes content related to a theme, so that if it detects that you're searching for a particular topic repeatedly, it knows, OK, I can push you more information. And that's a key word there. This transforms search from a purely pull experience, where you need information so you ask for it, into a push experience, where search engines are going to be intelligent enough to know this user is interested in this thing, I'm going to push them the next piece of information they need. So, how do we target people throughout their search journeys? I've broken this down into 6 steps. Step 1 is to define tangible goals that your business can help people to achieve. So if you work for a betting company, as I know a few of you out there do today, you want people to have a flutter. If you work for a financial institution, you want people to open an account or take out a product. It's something tangible that actually has an impact on their life. The second step is to break those goals down into journeys. That's if they take a long time to achieve. If not, then you can jump straight ahead to step 3 and break those journeys into steps. You're then going to identify what a person would think and feel and ask at each step of the journey, and create content to heighten the high points and to lift the mood during the low points by addressing concerns and answering questions. In its 20-year vision, Google specifically references the need to create evergreen content to answer people's questions throughout a journey. And that 6th step is just to help people move along from one step to the next. Now, one of the very best ways of doing this is via something called user journey mapping. And I'm going to cover this in brief because our creative specialists, who kindly lent me some slides, could talk about this in far more detail. It's a workshop normally facilitated by our creative team. And suffice to say, it is the best way to extract the most value from one of these sessions, and I recommend you give them all your money and let them run the session so that you can understand the best way to do this for your brand. So, number one step is to take a whiteboard, or in my case a corkboard, and divide it into a grid. Along the top row of that grid, we are going to put the steps towards our goal, and along the first column, we are going to put the post-it notes for what a person would do, ask, think, and feel at each step of the way. And then we're going to work from left to right, top to bottom, to cover our board in post-it notes. And soon you will understand what a person is doing at each step of the way, their questions, their uncertainties, how they're feeling, and most importantly, opportunities for your brand to support them. So here's a practical example. This is someone simply buying a product, and you can see that just in this very, very stripped back example, there are immediately 3 pieces of on-site content. So someone who's trying to find out how much something costs and the different options available needs a configurator. Someone who's having a problem with dealing with a transaction. Maybe they've got a question about delivery times, some good FAQs. And maybe someone who's placed an order, who's waiting for their product to be delivered, but it's not arrived yet. A delivery tracker can answer their questions. So the second step from my 3 was how to optimize for search intents and not just keywords. I will clarify here that keywords do still matter. Many organic search journeys either begin with, or at least touch upon, a traditional keyword. What's important is that you optimize for them in groups, analyze them by sentiment, and monitor their performance by trend and not simply by fluctuation. Again, Google is improving its interface to help us here and to surface content for intent-based search. So now when you search for a topic, it's going to be dynamically organizing the content from featured snippets, which are these results which get pulled through into the SERP from the page, into effectively miniature encyclopedias around a topic. Now what's quite exciting here is this works just as well for traditional organic search as it does for cutting-edge voice search. Smart speaker skills, including actions on Google Home, will also convert voice inputs, which can come in so many different forms, into distinct intents. So the same approach works for both types of organic search. So how do we actually action this? For each piece of content on your website, which you either need to create to fulfill a goal that you've just addressed in that previous step, or that you need to improve to better fulfill a goal, you're going to determine its core theme. What's it actually doing? What's it trying to do? And then you are going to identify the cluster of search queries that your content must address to pick up on the user who has that need. So yes, there will be a head term keyword here. What's the most popular shortish term that you need to put into the title of your page, the H1 tag, all those parts which do absolutely matter in terms of how you rank on Google. What keywords with medium search volume, that are a little bit longer, a few more words, should appear interspersed throughout the copy to make sure that algorithms and indeed users can trust that this information fulfills their needs? And what questions will need to be addressed that you can then put into the subheadings on the page, that you can put into FAQs on the page, that you can use to create sectioning? What questions can you address throughout that copy to make sure that it's as rich as possible? And a really important step in this age of the more visual SERP is to actually analyze the results where you rank. Don't just go after, oh, I want to be organic #1. What does that actually look like? Identify ways to enhance your presence on those SERPs. So here's a little example. We are coming up to Christmas. So this is a search for how to make gingerbread house. Incidentally, we've got a lot of our current clients in the room today. Some of you may already have received your RocketMill Christmas present. If you haven't, spoiler alert, it is a gingerbread house. You see, every year Sam and Ben get together in their kitchen and put together a gingerbread house for each of you. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. They don't actually run this Google search, and your gingerbread houses are perfectly edible. So, if you want to rank for this term, how to make a gingerbread house, well, as you can see from that full SERP, you best make a video, because that dominates the top of the results. But, okay, maybe you don't have the resource, or you don't have the inclination. What else can you do? Well, you could go after people who want to print out recipes and create content using a semantic ordered list or an unordered list, or in this case, just really good descriptive copy, and go after the featured snippets, which are here presented in the People Also Ask space, a space for related results. If you're going to go after a 10 blue link result, a traditional organic result, you'd better be making sure to use structured data so that search engines can pull through stuff like the image thumbnail, the rating from your users, the time it takes to cook, the calorie count, really practical, tangible information which relates to exactly this type of content so that users are enticed to click through. Let's be brutally honest. This is a result from the first page, and I can't imagine it's going to get many clicks. The final step to ranking well on organic search in 2019 and beyond is to deliver an excellent experience. So how do we do this? The first step is to optimize your website structure. That means you need to provide straightforward primary, secondary, and on-page navigation. A clear navigation menu on all devices, not just on desktop. Make sure your mobile menu is as good as your desktop experience. Helpful footer links to help people to go deeper into your site, possibly internal search, and maybe even jump links to help people navigate through a long page. Align your URL hierarchy, the address of each page, with principal journeys throughout your site. Every page's URL should signify what that page is about, where it is, and where it sits within the context of the wider site. And you should be using internal links to help visitors navigate backwards, forwards, and sideways throughout your site, full-on Pac-Man mode. Instead of trying to build external links repeatedly, putting yourself at the risk of an algorithmic penalty, why not just improve the internal linking between your own pages to indicate journeys through your site and related content thereupon? This isn't just a theory, incidentally. This is a practical example of something which RocketMill has done with one of its clients. We've worked with Kimberly-Clark to improve the Depend website, converting a flat site structure into a hierarchy. And this improved organic traffic to that section by 345%, and played a part in then having a higher organic search visibility than their direct competitors, always discrete and tenor. So having optimized your site structure, now let's just make the most of each page. How do you optimize your page information? First step is to write a compelling page title and description to persuade humans, not just algorithms, to see your content. These elements do matter for algorithms, undoubtedly, but it's much more important that they convey the message of your page and therefore reassure potential customers and potential visitors to your site that the information there will be helpful and therefore it will encourage them to click through. Structure your page like an essay. I always hark back to the fact that Google started life as backrub. It was an academic project, and I think that the best website reads like a good essay. It's got semantic headings, so it's got one H1 tag, one clear title. It's got subheadings to break up that copy, which use semantic H2 tags. It's nested together. It's easy to parse. And then within the body of your content, you should be encouraging featured snippets. So use bullet points, numbered lists, tables, and good pithy copy to earn trust, not just from search engines, but from your users as well, and provide a compelling on-site experience. And then finally, as I noted a moment ago, you should be adding structured data to your pages to help search engines understand your content and enrich your search results. So that means star ratings, stock statuses, entities. All of these build trust in your page, and again, not just for algorithms, but for people as well. And then finally, I'm going to recommend, obviously, that you do not deliver a bad experience on your website. So what do I mean by a bad experience? Well, you need to be checking your key pages and the critical assets on those pages are accessible to search engine crawlers. This is actually really easy to do. Google provides a service called Google Search Console, completely free. Set your site up on there, and it will tell you a list of any blocked assets that Googlebot is unable to find on your site. It means making sure that your site is easy to crawl, so tidying up 404 errors, internal redirect chains. It's not only search engines which will experience a slower site or encounter these errors, your users will too, and they will lose trust. It's about combining or canonicalizing similar pages on your site and duplicate content into one strong piece of information. A way of thinking about this is that just as you should target one search intent per page, you should target one page per search intent. You should ensure your pages load quickly on all devices and on real-world connections. Speed is a ranking factor on Google, on desktop and on mobile results. And again, more importantly, it influences whether users want to use and trust your content. And then make sure you serve everything on your website securely using HTTPS. This is the ultimate trust factor, and data from Mozcast this week shows that 92% of first-page Google results are using HTTPS. So if you're not there, you are missing out. In rounding up, today you've heard a lot from RocketMill about people-first marketing. And this, as you might have come to imagine, is just the beginning for us. People first isn't just a high and mighty ideal that sounds nice at the end of a slide deck. It is a pivotal, actionable concept that is applicable to every online and offline marketing channel in your mix. People first means empathizing with your customers, empowering consumers, increasing trust in your brand, and enhancing the interactions with your audiences. And the people first approach to SEO is crucial for long-term visibility and organic search for 2019 and beyond. Thank you.